Hello everybody. Giselle Grenier here from artplace.ca. Guess what? We are going to do some monoprinting using a gel plate and blue box finds. So for those of you that don't know what a blue box is, up here in Hamilton, other neighboring cities, recyclables go into a blue box. And I thought for this particular project, I would only use stuff that would typically go in my blue box or the green bin, which is for composting, to create the monoprints. The only thing that's manufactured, well, the gelatin plate, and I could have made one out of gelatin. Too lazy, couldn't be bothered. It's easier doing this. So the only physical art products is the gelatin plate, brushes, and palette knives, the brayer, palette paper, although I could get away and just use my unstick mat, and a whole bunch of paints. So first, I'm not even going to go over the blue box supplies first. I want to go over what we're going to be using to create our monoprints with. So let me get this one here. These are important. So I'm hearing a trend that art materials are going up in price, blah, blah, blah. It's not new. It's been doing that for a long time. But what we can do is we can control what we spend on in the actual substrates, the surfaces, what you paint on. So I went to my blue box as well, and wine bags. LCBO makes the most amazing bags, which they're thick and they're beautiful, different sizes. And so what can you do with that? Well, you can print it, you can cut it. With a couple of layers of gesso, it's thick enough that can be used to collage onto something or even an ATC. What I did is I prepped it with gesso and make a little bag book. There, you got something that you can print on. Packaging. So this is some packaging from the Americana decoupage paper. Okay, here's some packaging. I mean, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to figure this. And this actually is quite pretty, but just cut it open. Okay. And this part here. Okay, so keep this in mind. You can cut this out and you can use this. You can use this. You can use this. Energy bar drinks, energy bars, not drinks, energy bar packaging, same thing. Break it open. You got all these pieces here that can be used. And although this one here and this one here is fairly large, what the heck can you do with little pieces like this? Art minis. Okay, so what I do, and I have a whole shelf full of packaging like this, which I create in batches. So I cut them up into all these different sizes, 1 inch, 2 inch, 3 inch, all these different sizes. Here's packaging cut up into ATC sizes. And then what I'll do, there's even scrapbook paper cut up into tiny little pieces. And these are little art minis that you create miniature art. So batch doing these, I prep them with gesso. Why don't I prep the whole page with gesso and then cut it up? Well, first of all, a whole page wouldn't typically be scrap, but I find that because I run these through my cutter like this, if you're constantly cutting through gesso pages, your blade dulls out much faster. Yes, I could do it with an X-Acto knife and cut it, but I'm notorious for being clumsy that way, so I try not to. And on top of that, when you gesso these, and you can put them down, and I gesso them all at once. I did all these in about an hour. You get all these random gesso patterns using a palette knife, and you just tap and scrape. You get all these little patterns. And this is packaging. Okay, and I will do the other side, not right now, but we'll do the other side. I'm going to show you how to do one. And then this one here I did with all the leftover gesso that was on my unstick. Because it doesn't stick, I was able to pull it off with paper, scrape it off, and I created some really, really cool texture. Then what I'll do with these is that I will just put them, I have another bin with all of these prepared. That way, when I'm ready to create art, I'm not spending time doing this. I'm spending time creating the actual art. So, oh, there's my note. I mean, I'm doing experiments with some transparent skins, and I couldn't find my note. So these cards here are from this. I'm going to show you how I prep that, because there's a couple of different ways that you can do it. So that's that. Put that aside. So we have the packaging. This is good. If this is recyclable, why recyclable? Why send it to recycling to create something when you can use it to recycle to create artwork? We need more art in the world. Now for the actual, and then we got the bags. Now for the actual blue box things, where's the rest of the stuff? Oh, okay. Scrap canvas paper. Now, yes, they are sized because I have these all cut up and they're just in a bin. So scrap canvas paper. Oh, that's my actual book of backgrounds piece. Envelopes. So what I do with the envelope is glued it together, and then it creates a nice little, whether you do it this way, fold it over, glue it, whatever, it creates a nice little signature for your journal. And you can put a, put a piece of cardstock here, or just do it the way it is. That way you can put stuff in on both sides, whatever you want to do. There's something you can paint on. Now, these are not what I would typically call blue box finds, because these are, I actually bought these specifically for the texture, but, if you have those paper doilies that you throw out, these make great prints and great substrates to actually create your prints on. Put that over there. And that's it for what we're going to be, and a manila cardstock, you can print on that too. Now, the rest of what I'm going to show you is what I pulled out of my blue box. Some are old, from old blue box finds. Okay, meat packaging. This is a floor mat, a sponge floor mat, and these are little fun foam. No, this is foam packaging, I think. Is this foam packaging? I glued that. This is years old. That paper towel core works great for a brayer. Okay, so you don't need this. And I don't even clean these, because the more the paint builds up, it creates texture. Okay, creates all this nice texture. Duct tape. Duct tape or aluminum tape? Some type of tape. Core creates circles, creates lines. So I'm going to try that. Wax paper creates great texture. I'm going to use that. Here's another paper towel core with a piece of paper towel on it. Creates great texture. Air conditioner foam. This I have to check because I don't think we can put that into recycling, but creates great texture. Rye bread packaging. You're going to see what I do with this one. Egg carton. Instant stamps. Cork. Magnata. Creates texture. Popsicle sticks. And this was packaging from a button set. Texture. Ribbon, string, scrap paper. And my monoprinting wouldn't be complete without bubble wrap, my bacon packaging, and a makeshift stamp I did with cardboard. I found a feather, and it's really clean, so I think this is a craft feather. I don't know, but I'm going to use it for scrap paper. Now this here, this I have to wait. I wouldn't put this into the blue box, but I believe this is recyclable, but that's going to create some texture. Now I'm going to go way, way back here. And these I had to hide from chaos. Okay, these nice little doodads. I picked these this morning. We're going to create some prints with this. These were all on the ground, except this one here. I actually picked this off a branch that was broken. So we're going to create some stuff with this. If you're using organic material like this for prints, keep them away from pets. Although it's safe for us humans, pets are a different story. All right. Now to create all this, I have prepared a whole bunch of pieces. I've got some deli paper. I've got some parts out of a makeshift moleskin journal. What just fell on the floor? I don't know what fell on the floor. So these are what we're going to use to make all our prints. Scrap canvas paper. This used to be what I was using for my bullet journal, which I am not using this in because it's too small. So this is just plain old grid paper, and I just gessoed the first page. So I did all that, and that one, and that one. That one, the cover got damaged. This one, and this is, this is just a random journal that I use. I pulled this out because I was doing color mixing on that. I just cover it with gesso, and I use that for whatever. Okay. So lots of stuff, and why so much stuff? Because once you get started monoprinting, it's all about you come up with an idea. You take that idea, and I can guarantee you're going to say, oh, what if I do this? 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 Let me try this again, but what if I do it this way? And you're going to go into it's like a crack, and it's going to spread out into a gazillion ideas. So you need lots of stuff to print on. All right. So, and this is, I'm going to give you a warning right now, this is going to be a bit of a longer video because I have so much to show you. And because this is a book of backgrounds video, I'm combining the technique with the book of backgrounds. But telling you right now, you do not have to do it exactly how I'm doing it. I'm giving you a starting point to give you some ideas to get going. Gesso. Do you need to gesso? Not really. You don't have to. But what I would say is if you're just mucking around doing stuff on your own, and you're not going to do anything with your art other maybe your own personal journaling, you don't have to gesso if you don't want to. But if you want something to last longer, you want good adhesion, you want good protection, you want the paints to dry evenly, if you're going to give your art away, sell your art, you really should be gessoing your painting surfaces. A rough application, you could take your number 8 Bristle Bright, and this is just raw cardboard. And you can just, so watch how fast I do this. Oh, and I use tweezers just to kind of hold that around. When I'm working on raw cardboard, because I have no idea what I'm going to create on this, I'll usually put 2 layers. So I'll have my whole table clean, and I'll just do this, and I'll go round and round and round and round and round. Then by the time I'm done, the part over here will be dry, and I'll go round and round and round and round and round. Okay? So that's for a rough application. And I'll put that aside to dry. Let me just I'll just use one of these. If I'm going to do let me do this right. If I want a smooth application, I will take my, this still has, I don't think I cleaned that right. I will take my 1-inch glaze brush, some gesso, and I will apply using vertical and horizontal strokes. There's a edge here from the cutter, or sorry, a fold edge. And I will just apply a couple of thin layers this way. And that will give me a very smooth layer, except the way I'm doing it with the tweezers is leaving a mark. You can also put double-sided tape on your table. Okay, so this will give you a much smoother application using a brush like this. Okay, see the differences? Put that aside over there. And for this I'll use the other pieces. So if we're going to use the back side, if we want to create some pieces with texture. Not going to use those. Let's use these. We want to create some pieces with texture, so you can lay them all out. Grab a palette knife and just do this. Especially when you got a little bit of gesso on the table, they stick naturally. Like that. And you don't need to cover everything because that'll just give you some different type of, a different look. It's all about experimenting. You can even use your fingers if you want. And the DecoArt Media gesso has a really good, strong adhesion. So all I have to do when I'm cleaning my hands, I just use 1000 Plus stain remover. So I've got some nice little textures in here. These will go aside onto my drying rack, which Joe is rebuilding, making me a new one because I'm complaining, using vulgar language, that I don't have enough space. Don't have enough space. And then what I can do with whatever's left over, I can take another card. This is an unstick, so the unstick art and craft sheet. So this will come clean. So there's some texture for you, and it'll be totally unique. Okay, and some of you may be saying, "Oh, this is boring. Get to the printing." Yeah, but you can get to the printing all you want, but if you don't prepare the pieces right, then what's the point? The stuff's going to fall apart. Especially when you're working on stuff like this is a face painting package. I did some face painting for Halloween. A couple of these. It's not Halloween, but they wanted to test out a costume for their kids. So I did one as Darth Maul and the other little boy as a tiger. Showed the mom how to do it. And that's the packaging. Super thick. There we go. Done. All right. So that takes care of that. So now you have some pieces prepped. And when you're prepping pieces, make sure you have your, you got lots of room. All that. And the camera's probably shaking a little bit because it's mounted to a stand that's attached to the table. So if it is, I'm sorry. Alrighty. And I'm going to be doing this in real time. No speeding up the video. No edits unless Mia starts to bark like a fool. Let me just get this out of the way. I am going to be using these as well. Oh, and I will be pausing when I take my pieces, when I fill up the pieces here, to take them to my shelf. But everything is going to be in real time. Because that's how you see the magic. Okay, you want to make sure you can see that. And see that. Okay. So I've got my Royal Essentials palette paper here. Clean sheet. Brayer, although we don't need one, we can use this. First thing I want to do, there really is no planning, you just do it. So let's try something with a metallic. So I'm going to put it on the paper. Let's do it with this piece here. So let's see what happens. I'm just going to do this. And getting some on me. Don't care. And let's take some of these little pieces here. And let's push these down. And this is how you develop a great series of pieces that have the same theme, but have different types of texture. I can even take the same roller and press them down onto the gelatin plate because they're small. What it will look like, I have no idea. Will any of the gold be transferred? I have no idea. But we have very light prints. Okay, so that's one thing. So we can take those. and put those to aside to dry, and then we can layer more on top. I want to do another one with metallic. This is a Decor Media Gold Metallic. And let's do card. This will make sense. Okay, very, very light. That's fine. Let's put that aside to dry. Look at these prints here. Okay, so let's take a doily. What will happen? You'll get something here. Let's apply more paint. And let's take what? Oh, let's take this one. Pull that up. Okay. All I want to do is I want to get an impression. So let's take, the paint's already dry. All right, so what does that tell me? Maybe I need to speed up the process, but you can only speed it up so much once you get the impression here. I can also spray with a little bit of water. So let's try that. And let's just make some. I don't know if that will do anything. Same piece. And we got some circles transferred. Okay, put that aside. Not even going to bother cleaning the plate. So now let's take some blue, ultramarine blue. And when you're putting acrylics on top of metallics, you're just getting a metallic with blue on it. Foam stamp. Homemade foam stamp. And let's just take a page of the book, press down. If you're a member of studio.artplace.ca, you will have access to high resolution images for all these. Okay, tell me you can't think of something to do with that. That is cool. Just keep going. You can add another color. Yep, you can do that. I'm not going to do that right now, but what I am going to do is I'm going to write on the plate, add a couple of, well, 3 drops of gold, and take that. Okay. Take a little ATC card. Pull that up. Look at that. And what else? What else? What else? What else? That I have no idea because that's really thin. Let's see what happens. That's really small. That cleans the plate really well. Look at that. Neat. Cool, cool, cool. So if I want to spread this out a little bit more, I can, let me go to some green. There's still an impression here. Let's see what happens if I do it this way. Sort of spread that. You can also pull some leaves off if you want. I need something bigger. Okay, vellum. I typically wouldn't use vellum for this because vellum is very expensive. And if I would have pulled off some leaves, I could have got some paint in between the leaves there. You can see there's a good amount of paint on here. Look, That's the third generation print for that. And we have the doily. We have part of the doily on there. We have some of the gold metallic. We still have some of the blue. Look at that. What can we do with this now? Turn it, take the leaf off. And press down. You've got that. And I can take the leaf there. Let's just go another page. Yeah, I didn't get much out of that. Mind you, it's really flat now. Let's take a couple of these out. And this plant, I will probably end up hanging on to it, because now that there's paint on it, it's nice and stiff. You can place it, and now these little pieces here, you could not get a stamp or a stencil to do this, and this is totally unique to you. Don't know. Have no idea. Have no idea. We can try doing it this way. You can try doing it that way. Be something big, bigger. And these are just single layer prints. We're going to start doing a whole bunch of other layers as well. What does it look like? There we go. Well, what if I want to, let's apply, let's go with some blue, let's go with some yellow. Right on the plate with the paint that's already there. Yellow, blue, green, it's not gonna hurt it any. I'm gonna go right over all this. Leaves are moving around, who cares? It doesn't matter. Let's do the same thing again. Come on. Oh, paper's stuck together. Use whatever you have to make your prints. You can always trim them down if you've got blank spots on them. There we go. Now take these off. Now create an overlapping print. So you're creating a print on top of another print. Did anything get transferred? I think so. Yep. See, there's another piece here. So you can get prints on top of prints on top of prints on top of prints. So that's using organic material. All right. Where am I? Oh, the foam. Let's try with the foam. Let's try with the foam. Not even cleaning my plate, because you know what's going to happen? You may still get that leaf transferring through. No, yeah, I can do that now. I don't think I have enough paint on here. I don't think I have enough paint on there. Oh, that's, let me try that again. I don't know if that's what it's supposed to look like. Let's see. Oh, I got a leaf in there. I may need a little bit more paint. I don't know if that made an impression. Yeah, it did. Not really anything to write home about. Let's go to blue. If you're in a very warm and dry environment, you may want to put a little bit of spray with a little bit of water, or use a extender. No, that's not really doing anything. No, I'm not even gonna bother. It's not really doing anything. Let's go with ribbon, and you just lay things down elastic. Okay, this is going to require 2 steps. We're going to press this down, so what we're going to get is we're going to get whatever I dropped on there, wherever that is, it's going to be white. Okay, so that's left. What you can do as well, take the stuff off. Then you can take a print that you already did. Just take this one here. And you can work on that. There's a couple of pieces here. Okay, not terribly exciting, but that's what makes all these prints unique. What we can also do, let's go with, I'm working my way up to orange so we can get into red. I'm going to do this right on the plate. That's going to be way bright. Okay, you can take string, lay that down, and I'm going to lay a few pieces of stuff down. Okay, and I'm just going to take a palette knife and I'm going to just gently just press it down. And then remove it. Depending on the pressure that you use, you'll get a different type of print. There's 2 sheets here. Depending on the pressure that I was using, that'll determine what gets picked up. See? So on the manila file folder, it's not primed, so it took up all the paint. But the elastic and that, they're not really porous, so it didn't take up too much paint. There's the leaf print right there. Okay. And whatever's left over in here. Popsicle sticks. These are big enough that you can press right down. Take them up. And let's see. Let's see. The paint dried. Uh-oh, trouble's here. Trouble's here. Let's see if that did anything. No. Okay, let's do it again. Let me go over to red now. Let me go over to red. Don't jump up on the table. That's a lot of wet paint on there. Let's do something else while we're here. I'm going to take advantage of this. I was going to have to do it anyways. So this is a thing that you use to make embroidery, or is it needlepoint or embroidery or something? Where's my actual book of backgrounds page? Uh-oh. This will be the actual book of backgrounds page. Can you guys hear her purring? That is really wet. Holy cow. Pick up a little bit more. You can only see a little bit of that. But then I've taken up most of that paint. Take the screen, put it back down. I wonder if we press it like a stamp. Aha! Ha ha! Da 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 da. Darn. Are you dry yet? No? Shoot! Oh. I'm going to do it this way. I may use this part, this for my book of backgrounds page. Aha, yeah. And then take this part here, because now we're going to get different shapes because of where the page was lifted off. Let's do this side. And when you're going over the same area more than once, it's called the second generation, third generation, whatever, how many generation prints. Some refer to it just as a ghost print. Okay. Now, let's see what happens if I just put a little bit more paint on there. The leaves are actually making impressions on the plate. Take that. Chaos. Gosh, she purrs loud. You got a very light impression. Very light impression. Take that leaf out. And there's the leaf. I like that. That's pretty. So clean your plate by just going back and forth over and over and over again. If you really want to change your colors, you can clean your plate with a baby wipe and some, or even I use rubbing alcohol if I need to. Don't have to, but sometimes I do that. Let's do this. Let's go with red. And these are all Deco Art Media Fluid acrylics, quinacridone red. And when you're using the plates, just make sure that you're careful that you're not putting anything sharp into the gelatin plate. You don't want to damage it. Let's leave it like that. All right, I'm going to, let's use this just to press it down. Because this is so thick, I may not be able to make full contact with the plate. So if I press that down, and I'll show you what I mean. So I'm going to use this one here. Press that down. I can take a clean brayer Isn't that gorgeous? I want to show you something. You know what? No. Let me do another print. I want to just do something else. Let's see what happens. And for the actual process, I would actually have the backs finished. Depending on what I'm going to be doing, I could have the backs finished before I make the print. See? If I take this off, don't you jump on my table. Don't you jump on my table. Now I'm going to take all those little tiny little pieces. Oh, reach over. Oh, all those little tiny little pieces. I'm going to push them really hard before the paint dries. Everywhere where there's an actual impression. And this is how I'm going to get a whole bunch of nifty shapes. Nifty. Do people still say nifty anymore? Oh, I got one nice piece here. Let me... It's too small. It's too small. Only get a half. Can you see how many pieces you can get by doing this? And what they're creating, especially for backgrounds, they create such, that one didn't do anything. They're creating such, that didn't do anything. Creating some interesting patterns. These didn't do anything. There's a little bit of something, but not much. See that beautiful impression there? What happens now if we go over with gold? All the little bits are left over from the actual dried grass. That's all these little marks that you're seeing on there. I'm doing this to lift the paint up. Let's see what we get. Paint's a bit dry. Mist. Now I'm not going to bother wetting or rolling it again. Let's see what happens. The prints are always different. Always different. Right now it's only 9 degrees outside, and you know what? And 3 or 4 days ago we were at 35 Celsius. The prints that I made then are different than the prints I'm making now. You only have a little bit of leaf impression there. So, what if I just go over... Yeah, the paint's drying too fast. If I wanted the leaf to be gold, the page part will be gold. Okay, put the leaf back like that. You know what, let me cut it. Now, let's come in with red in the green palette. This is quinacridone red. No. Ooh, that won't work. Deli paper. I could do the print just the way it is. I want to pull that up. Oh man, look at that. Look, isn't that beautiful? And you may not like the actual prints themselves because it may not be your style or may not be your colors. But once you do this with your own favorite colors, and you'll follow. Oh my God! Look at that. I couldn't buy a stamp or a stencil to do this. I'm sorry. This is just so beautiful. What can you do with that? Picture this. Frame it. It's beautiful, unique, one of a kind. You will not be able to find, nobody will be able to find something this exact shape, this exact style, that size. This is unique. Maybe that's beautiful. Can we? Is there anything left on that? No. But that is really pretty. It is really pretty. I don't think I can get a ghost print out of that. I think that's all dry. What if we just missed it? No. No, that didn't do much. That didn't do much. We need paint. All right. What else have I got? Oh, I got this. Grapevine. This really should be green, but I like doing the opposites. I like doing the opposites. Do one facing up and one facing down. This poor little bugger is not feeling well. Oh, let's just do these ones. Let's go with a little bit of gold right into that metallic on the palette. And you can use whatever, whoopsie. Oh, wonder what kind of print that would make. I just got an idea. That rolled up too. Here. See what I mean about getting, you can spend. Oh, that one's just a gold impression. So let's do something on that one. I just got the impression of gold. So the colors are too close together. The colors are too close together. This is the envelope. I don't know if the paint will still be wet enough. Oh yeah. There we go. There's a leaf there. take the ones that peeled off. Press them onto the plate. I don't know if there will be any more paint left on that one. Not really, but now we have the impression of the leaf in gold. Ta-da! That one was kind of smushy. That one's a nice one there. That one's almost invisible. So we got leaves. If you could only see how messy my table is right now. Paper bag book. Okay, I gotta clean up a little bit. So we got that. That I'm gonna use probably these two as my book of backgrounds. So those are gonna be put aside. So let's see, we got 2 on that one, we got 2 on that one, we got that one, we got that one, we got that one, we got that one, that one. Oh, chaos. We've got that. We got that. We've got that. We've got this. We got this. We've got this. We've got that. We've got all of those little buggers. We've got that. We've got that. Okay, you tell me if you don't have, I'm not even going to count that one. Got that one. Got those 2. Is that it? You tell me you don't have, if you're bored, look. And if you're not sure what to do with them, think about it. You can take this, collage it onto something, okay? Take this piece here. Think of the collage. You have an instant background. Okay, this is gold. And what makes it gold? Because it's unique. So I want to now show, where are we at? We're on the 52-minute mark. Okay, so let me do, I got 1, 2, 3, 4 more to show. Let me just make some room. All right, let's go into blue. That's gonna go right on the plate. I have a whole bunch of leaves on there now. Look at the patterns that they're leaving. Yeah, the baby leaves. Wax paper. Oh, chaos is coming. Press that. Lift it up. That's nice by itself. Okay, so that's that paper bag book, paper bag little mini journal. That's kind of neat. Can we get a ghost print out of that? There. Let's do something there. I don't know if the paint is wet enough. That, and that. Okay, got those. Take the wax paper again, press it back. That could be used for something. I don't know if we can get another print out of this. Yep. So this one here, actually, you can keep going and going and going and going. You can get a whole bunch. Let's go back with the paint. Let's see what else we got on the palette that we can use. Not much. let's go back to the teal. Let's mix a little bit of yellow in there, hence a yellow medium. And I'm working fast because we got 5 minutes left. Artwork wouldn't be artwork without bubble wrap. Then if you have something else, you can stamp that onto there. These pages you can collage onto whatever. Okay. Take the bubble wrap back. Press it back on the plate. See what we get. Not a fan of the colors for this. And this might be too light. Yeah, it's not bad. Not bad. There you go. You can cut that out into pieces. Or just use it as a background. You can't go wrong. You can't go wrong. I think I have time to show. I have time to show one more. No, I'm just going to combine two. Okay. So, sandwich bag or bread bag. Lift that up. You can use that for something else. Press that on there. I'm not pressing too hard. Lift that up. Look at that. Now come in with the egg carton. I don't know if it'll make enough impressions. Nah, I don't think so. I don't think so. It's too light, so let's go back again. Actually, let's do it with blue and some gold. I'm probably just going to reach the 1 hour mark for this lesson. Let's break that up a little bit. Stamp that. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get a proper print out of these because that might be a little too, didn't pick up too much paint. And what to see. These are great ways to make double-sided ACTs, postcards. That's kind of cool. I love these. That's really neat. I love that. I wonder if we can get a ghost print out of that. It's all right. It's all right. There we go. Oh, there's blue paint on that. That paint's getting kind of muddy. There we go. Did I use everything? I didn't use this, but you get the idea. I can take that. Let's use yellow. You can go on and on and on with this. The stencils move, or the bacon packaging's moving. Who cares? It is all about book of backgrounds. This is all about the. Now, see how easy it is to create a background? That's it. Done. Okay. We get a ghost print. Oh, we're hitting the 1 hour mark. Nah, that one's not bad. So you can see how well, one last one, you can see how well this works. So this is going to be thin. Packaging from buttons and large rings. Just go right over the same thing. You can do this as often as you want, as many times as you want. There we go. So, what do you think? Think this is something you would enjoy doing? I created so many backgrounds here. I would, or backgrounds and stuff for fodder and just stuff to use. I can do this. I can do this all day. I can do this all day because the stuff is so unique. All right, so we're done with our printing. Now it's time for some cleaning. So I've got my brush bucket here. The brayer I like using fits right inside. Okay. This, typically I'll try to reuse this into some art. But for the purposes of right now, I'm just going to move that aside. Oh, and I still have my coffee over there. I'm going to spray this with water. And I'll just use my hands to kind of smush that around. Oh, but wait, there's more. Depending on where you do your recycling, they may let you put this back into the blue box. Me, I'm just going to keep it. I'm just going to keep it. I can use it for art. See? This is still wet, so now I can take my baby wipe and just start to wipe it down. And the plate that I'm using, the gelatin plate, you can go to the website to get cleaning instructions and all that stuff. Me, I just use a baby wipe, and if something doesn't want to come off, I sprinkle a little bit of rubbing alcohol. That always works. You can use a little bit of oil as well. And paper towel. And I like using the Viva paper towels. That's my preferred, my choice, because it's so textured and because it's so thick. And then I would just do that until I get it all cleaned off and then put it back into its packaging for storage. Where's the cat? Oh, okay. All right, everybody. So super quick recap. Oh, I didn't use this and I didn't use the feather. Oh, I'll have to use the feather into another project. Super quick recap. I didn't even bother putting this stuff on a drying rack. Okay. So these I will be using for my book of backgrounds, my official book of backgrounds. And as well, no, so just because I'm using these for my book of backgrounds, if you're following along with the series, use whatever print you want. It's not about, this actually could be used as a finished piece of artwork. I may actually just frame this. But it's not about copying what I did per se. Use the techniques, feed off it, use your own energy, and just use your own colors and your own materials. Just have fun. If you're getting frustrated doing this, you're doing it wrong. It's all about having fun. Interesting. So these here, although they have different prints, they look like they're similar, so they could be used in a series. But you saw how packaging, okay? It doesn't cost you anything. You already bought the stuff to eat, so, I got I had a laptop repaired. I got it yesterday. The packaging they sent with it I can make, I think, probably 100 ATCs, and the material inside will probably last me 2 years for all this type of stuff. Raid your cupboards. Raid your cupboards, stuff. You know, look at your art stash, stuff that you haven't touched in years. Is there something there that you can use as a stamp, as a stencil, as some type of texture material? Okay, that I love that color. What do you do when you have a print that didn't work? You build on it. Do another one. Let it dry. Do another one. Do another one. If you have something you can't stand, cover it with gesso and start all over again. Now, what do you do with that? Build art on it. Cut it up into ATCs. Cut it up into postcards. So just think of, you know, makes great backgrounds, you know. Fold it in half. Okay, now we have a signature for a journal. My little bag book here. What am I going to do with this? I have no idea. I want to demonstrate how you can use, you know, bags from the store to make stuff. Look at all these little art miniatures. They're very similar, but all have a different pattern. Be great for a series. Not sure what I mean about these. Ouch. Let me show you. Let me show you. These are pieces that I've started. They are past the printing stage, but look at these little bases. Okay, how tiny these are. So these are all with scrap pieces of packaging. Some have tissue, some have stamps, some have just monoprinting, some have paper, stamp, paper, monoprinting, and some little rhinestones. This is monoprinting with a stamp and Deco Art Media liquid glass on that. Here's some that I got started. Here's another one. Okay, monoprinting with a stamp and liquid glass. Okay, and then what do you do with the other ones that are prepped? Look at these. So you create smaller pieces. If they've already been colored and painted and all that stuff, the hard work is done. A simple print with a stamp and just use some a fortune cookie print on that and just decorate it. You know, all these things here. So the what you can create is absolutely endless. These are all pieces. These are ready that I can do more damage to them. And this was, you know, all these little. These are all monoprintings. These I'm going to be doing a project on. I'm going to be doing a demonstration on how to do that, but this is all monoprinting. So if you don't want to invest into buying a gel plate, hey, no problem. People did it the hard way before. You know, you can make your own plate or just use fun foam as your printing plate. You know those little sheets of fun foam you can get at the dollar store? Use that as your plate. This just makes it a little bit easier, but there's so many different ways that you can do it. Just Google on the internet or make your own. There's recipes out there using Knox gelatin and I think mineral oil? There's lots of recipes out there. But give it a try. I would love to see, that belongs in there. I would love to see what you've done. So please email me pictures of what you've done, or if you have any questions. Better yet, if you could post it in our private Facebook group. It's a free group made up of artists of all levels. You're free to post it in there. The link to both of those, my email and the Facebook group, is at my website at artplace.ca. And while you're there, join up to the, if you're new to Book of Backgrounds, there's a link there where you can join up to get the free Book of Backgrounds roadmap to take you from beginning to end on that. In the now, as of right now, okay, as of right now, and by the time you're watching this video may be finished, we're going to be doing an ATC swap, and we're going to be doing with some themes, so that's going to be fun to participate in as well. Lots of stuff happening. Okay, now I gotta clean. Can you help me clean? I really need help cleaning. I hate cleaning. So I'm gonna clean, prepare this video for you guys, and I hope that you enjoyed this. I would, if you like doing this type of stuff, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss anything, and comment below some ideas of what you've done for monoprinting, or if you have any ideas. All right, so until I see you in the next video, stay inspired.